welcome everybody to another Mini Cooper. I know you guys are wondering, this guy just keeps on driving Minis through the year, and why not? I'm a big fan of the whole theory that the Mini stands by: small, nimble, and fun. The car we have today with us today is the base Mini, and with weather like this, it's probably not the best car to have, but trust me, it's still very much fun in a snowstorm as I experienced yesterday. Let's see how this base Mini is. What's different? The last time I had the Mini convertible, I've driven the Mini JCW and I've driven the Countryman. The car with me today is the base Cooper, so it's only called the Mini Cooper. It's actually called the base. It also has an option because now Mini Canada has standardized a option that you have to choose when you buy the base Mini, which is called the Premium 2.0 package. That lends you a bit more options compared to the standard Mini, and I think those options are actually pretty useful because it adds stuff like heated seats, a dual sunroof, if I can say. I mean, the rear glass is just a shade. The glass doesn't actually open. The front glass opens, so that's part of the premium package. You have heated seats, you have leather seats, you have the speedometer console, which you find in the JCW and other cars as well. It's a $7,000 option, so that does bump up the price a bit, but the base price of the car is already kind of low, which honestly I did not expect to find a car for that low that would have this kind of appeal. Otherwise, it looks like a standard Mini. It has the same round egg-shaped lights, which is iconic. No aerodynamic bits here, just a regular standard affair bumper with some aero for the radiator and stuff. You have some very basic wheels, so these are 16-inch wheels. Obviously this is the winter setup, but even the summer setup is 16 inches. You do have some cladding on the side because that's what Minis have. Even the JCW has it, and I particularly like this paint a lot. This is a $500 option, but I think it's worth paying for this color because it really shines. And trust me, I've driven this car in really mushy roads, snowstorms and stuff, but it doesn't really capture dirt or mud a lot, so that's a bonus. Again, it just looks very nice, very simple motoring, if I say, and it is still very fun. On the inside, as I said, the premium package adds some bonuses to the base car, but since this is the base car, you do not have digital AC control, so you have a manual fan speed, a manual temperature, so you don't actually know what the exact degree of the temperature you've set at, which is fine, right? At the price point, you do get a lot more stuff because the driving dynamics is still pretty much the same. The chassis is still very competent, it's very fun, and the rear space is actually decent compared to the convertible which I had in the back. I've had passengers in the back in this, and they are much more happier in this than they were in the convertible. The boot space is actually pretty decent, where you can put in 2 cabin luggages or 1 check-in luggage, which is just the usual Mini affair. You do have the same big screen in the middle, the round screen that has the wireless CarPlay, Android Auto and the works, so it's a very familiar place. This, however, is the manual option. So this car also has automatic and a manual. The manual again is a no-cost option like it is in the JCW and other Minis, and it's still very, very fun to drive. Let's see how this small Mini is to drive. Behind the wheel of the Mini Cooper, so let's get the numbers out of the way. This has a 1.5 litre 3-cylinder turbocharged petrol engine, produces about 135 horsepower. It's only front wheel drive. It weighs about 1250 kgs, which is extremely light, and kind of the USP of the Mini, that it's so light, so agile. It comes with an automatic gearbox and a no-cost manual option, which this car has. Very rare combo, if you ask me, if you find a manual in a base model car these days. But let's see how it drives. So slot it into first and you set off, and you instantly notice that it picks up speed very, very easily. You don't actually have to floor it. Driving in city urban conditions is extremely easy, and you don't have to fight the clutch. The clutch travel is a bit on the longer side for sure, and takes some getting used to, but you can adjust your driving position accordingly while you get more accustomed to the car, and it just becomes so manageable. Especially I'm driving with these snow boots and they have a bit of a thick sole. It's pretty easy to drive. The clutch is also on the lighter side for sure. I'm not very sure about the design of the gear knob. I wish it was designed better so it would be better to hold and better to shift, but barring that, it's actually a very, very fun car to drive, irrespective of, you know, we're used to the JCWs with over 200 horsepower and stuff. This with 135 honest horsepower trust me, it's still very, very fun. It kind of proves that no matter what engine you put inside this chassis, it's gonna be fun. And that's the beauty of the chassis. I mean, if I floor it, it still picks up pretty well. Like, I'm doing some good speeds already. Look at that. And that's the beauty. I also find that in this particular combination of engine and gearbox, the manual shifter is actually very nice. In the JCW, I found it a bit too notchy for my liking, but in this it shifts very, very smoothly, which I really like. I wish the JCW had this gearbox. It would have been just quite the perfect hot hatchback. Again, what can I say? It just drives so well, and with the premium package you have the heated seats and the heated steering, and it's just comfortable and it's very cozy. You can just drive this for long distances. I mean, I have been driving this and I have driven over 200 kilometers or so, and it's just so comfortable on the highway and city, just blends in. What can I say? I really like the whole Mini platform, and even with this base engine, it's still very fun to drive. And I really feel that for the price point, there probably isn't anything else that is more fun than this, which is really commendable. It's just so much fun. You know, I'm just attacking some corners. I know this has the winter tires, so if I put it down, gear down, oh, there's some understeer, but it's still so fun. So fun. Like, I'm having, like, honestly, for $35,000, it's very difficult to have more fun than this. And it's so planted. The steering is so nippy. It's actually very difficult to drive this car in a cool, composed manner. The driving position is so spot on that you always feel like you're on your A game, which I truly love. What can I say? I didn't expect to be blown away by this car with the way it drives, but it's so fun. And honestly, I can just keep on driving this. What a very rare occurrence where a base model car will be so tough to give back. Conclusion then, the Mini Base Cooper. Well, what can I say? I love minis. They're all fun to drive, and this is no exception, which actually proves that the platform, the chassis is so sorted. Whether it has 135 horsepower or it has 230 horsepower, it still drives the same. That's how good it is. I personally am a big fan of the whole Mini platform, and it'll be a shame that once BMW retires this platform, it'll be a shame because it's such a legendary product. At around $26,000 for this base Cooper, this is without the premium line, but now the premium line 2.0 package is mandatory. So 26,000 for the base car, 7,000 for the premium line 2.0 package, makes it a combined $34,000 or $35,000 before taxes. I think that's a bit on the expensive side for a car that's this small, but if you want something that is this quirky, this stylish, this fun, and has an iconic brand history, it's going to be very difficult to buy anything else. Honestly, if I were in the market to buy a hatchback that is that fun and completes all my requirements, I'd look nowhere else. Honestly, I did not expect to have so much fun with this base Cooper.